people of, business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople, anybody who needs to generate a lead for a living, whether they're a realtor, a loan officer, a salesperson, a used car salesman, a knife salesman, a bakery owner, a yoga studio owner. Like if you've got friends or clients that are in that space, add them to the group, right? We want to hear their voice. All right. So what are we doing today? We're reviewing this book, Lead Generate 61 Days to Double Your Pay, because the little way that I know I can give back right now is kind of like that saying, give a man a fish, he eats for a day, teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. So that's what we're doing, is reviewing some ideas on how to help you all fish for a lifetime, right? Go out and lead. And this is day 3, how to focus on your lead generation. Sorry, needed some bubbly water there. And for my buddy Eric, who's watching this, who's holding me accountable, no, that's not soda, that's bubbly water. So don't send me a text message that I'm drinking too much soda. All right, day number 3. Subject of the chapter is clear your decks, clear your decks, clear your decks. I like to do my prospecting from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. 2 days a week, and from 10:30 to 11:30 3 days a week. My normal schedule goes something like this. Wake up at 5, journal, plan my day, drink a lot of liquids, check for emergency emails, 6 o'clock workout, although I'll be honest, shelter in place, I have not been working out nearly as much as I should because I really like working out with other people. 7:30, breakfast, conversation with past client or referral source or my family, depending on how we do breakfast. Obviously right now, it's all either breakfast alone if the kids aren't woken up yet, or it is breakfast with my family. It used to be a lot of breakfast with team members, with referral sources, with past clients, but that ain't happening right now. 8:20, clear my decks of any true emergencies. Obviously, 8:30, I do a lead generation call for our coaching clients. 9 o'clock, I now do this call. I troll around on Facebook a little bit, but at 9:30, almost every day starts 1 hour of focused prospecting or lead generation, right? Whether you're using something, and if for some reason you want a copy of this and you don't have one, whether you're using our connection tracker here, which is where I keep track of my 10 calls a day, whether you're using a CRM, whether you're just doing little tick boxes on a Post-it, depending on your type of business and the product you sell and kind of the price point of your product, maybe 5 connection calls in an hour is a huge win. Maybe 25 calls in an hour is a huge win. You need to have your own metric, but you really need to start that 1 hour of focused prospecting as early in the day as possible. And then after you're done with that prospecting, cool. Then you can start your workday around 10:30 or 11. Just some other thoughts from the chapter. Every other day, I push that back an hour because maybe there's some clients, some referral partners, some realtors I can't get in touch with from 9:30 to 10:30. So 10:30 to 11:30 works better. But the idea here, and who knows, maybe you're in a business where you have to call from 4 to 5, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. because you work overseas. The idea here is to schedule at least an hour every single day of some type of lead generation activity and then stick to it, right? This is a no-fly zone, right? Like Top Gun, you don't buzz the tower. There's a no-fly zone. Let me give you some of the best ideas for clearing your decks and focus on this lead generation. Number 1, go through your phone today. Go through your phone today. It's actually a little bit easier on an Android because you can turn off all notifications at once. On iPhone, they want you to continuously be addicted to this and touching things. So you got to go through and turn off all the notifications individually. But go through your phone, go to the notifications tab, turn off all of the text, calendar, the beeps, the tweets, the blips, the notifications, other than maybe your bank account in case you like overdraft or have some fraud on there, and maybe pick one primary means of communication, whether it's incoming calls or text message or email, however you prefer to communicate. Maybe you do all your marketing on Facebook, and Facebook is the one thing that you need to be on top of nonstop with notifications, okay? So pick your bank account, maybe pick an app that you're using to improve yourself, whether that's a workout app or a meditation app or whatnot, and then pick one stream of communication, incoming phone calls, incoming texts, incoming emails, and have no more than 2, 3, 4, something like that, notification push-throughs on your phone. Because here's what happens. People start their day with the best of intentions. All right, I'm going to lead generate. It's 9:30. Oh, beep, I got a tweet. Oh, beep, somebody texted me. Oh, click, tweet, blip, blah, 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 blah. And 2 hours later, all you've done is been reactive to the notifications on your phone. So you'll see, even right now, since we've been talking in the last 5 minutes, I've gotten 4 text messages and I've gotten 8 Facebook alerts and I've gotten 2 picture notifications from Facebook and I've gotten 3 Telegram alerts, but my phone didn't make any noise. It didn't do anything. All it does is I need to go in there and physically look at it if I want to interact with that app. Because trust me, if you've never done this before, it will blow your fucking mind how many different apps are on auto notification on your phone. You know, the Adobe Reader PDF converter app that you have in your phone is set to auto notifications. So once every couple months, when they have an update, it automatically pushes to your phone and you have to look at it and decide whether you want to deal with it or not. Okay. Now amplify that across 100 different apps on your phone. Now amplify that across the fact that Facebook intentionally tries to interrupt you at least once an hour so that you get addicted to going to Facebook over and over and over again. And Facebook Messenger and Outlook and Gmail. Like enough's enough, man. If you want to seriously commit to lead generation, you have to turn off a majority of those notifications. Okay, I think I beat that dead horse enough. Turn other technology, whether it's your desktop notifications, your Outlook mail, your phone, set it to do not disturb during that hour of focused lead generation. Set an alarm. I still do this actually. One of the things you will see me get interrupted from on some of these calls is if I have an alarm scheduled, because that's one of the notifications that's allowed to come through my phone to me in real time, because I set an alarm for 15 minutes before I'm going to do my lead generation activities. So that way I can run to the restroom, I can get a bubbly water, I can check my email real quick for some last minute, truly the house is burning down emergency email I have to send. And then that allows me to go into my hour of lead generation, focused, feeling comfortable, ready to go. Because if you wait to do all those things until the hour that you have on your calendar, and we'll get to that in a second, to do your lead generation, you're going to come up, you're going to be like, sweet, 9:30, I'm doing this. Oh, shoot, forgot to turn off the stove. Run over there. Oh, you know what? I really want a Diet Pepsi. Run over there. Oh, well, now I got to go pee. Run over there. As you're going pee, now that you have some mental clarity and some space, you're like, oh man, I totally forgot. I've got that loan funding or that shipping that was supposed to go out or that quote that I was supposed to go out. Let me just jump in and do that real quickly because that's going to be on my mind and I won't be able to focus on my lead generation unless that one quote goes out. So then you send the quote and you look up at the calendar and you started your lead generation at 9:30. You meant to go to 10:30 and now it's 10:15. And you're like, well, I've only got 15 minutes left for lead generation. I'll just try again tomorrow. And then this happens over and over and over and over again. And then these habits become our patterns, and then our patterns become our career. And then our career, you know, kind of defines how much money we can make. So set that alarm for 15 minutes before your lead generation. Learn to interrupt interruptions. Learn to interrupt interruptions. And I got this from my buddy, John Berghoff. So I'm going to read this word for word. Learn to interrupt interruptions. Tuning out distractions, staying focused, and telling people you are working on a priority project are all skills that you develop over time. For example, if you see that a friend or client or family member or manager is calling you during your lead generation hour because you're going to be using your phone for outbound calls, and if somebody's calling in, that might be hard to ignore. It might be hard to turn that notification off, or maybe you feel guilty because it's a client, friend, manager, spouse calling you during this sacred time where you're conflicted because you want to do your lead generation, but you also maybe want to or maybe need to talk to this person. Here's what you need to learn how to say during that hour of lead generation. Hey, honey, my wife, I answered the phone because of how important you are to me. Right now, I'm in the middle of a super important hour of focused activity. Is this a matter I can call you back on in an hour or something that we can solve here in 15 seconds? Having that conversation with your spouse or your manager or a client or a coworker or a friend is super duper uncomfortable the first 10, 20, 50, 100 times you have it. But trust me, you have to learn how to have that conversation, right? First of all, it'll make sure that you don't come out of lead generation with 40 voicemails that maybe you have to deal with. Number two, there's always going to be other things competing for your time and other people competing for your time. You know, I have to tactfully learn, it took me a while on how to do this tactfully. When my executive assistant wants to go over something, I need to be able to say, hey, you didn't know this because it's on my calendar, but I'm in the middle of a very focused activity right now. Can we deal with this in 10 seconds or can we talk about it, you know, in 10 minutes 10 hours, 10 weeks. We'll deal with it another time. You need to learn to become an absolute expert at having those conversations so that you can say, hey, I answered the phone because of how important you are to me, but right now I'm in the middle of a very important focused hour of activity. Is this something we can solve in 10 seconds, or can I call you back in an hour? And here's the dirty secret. 90% of the time, the person calling you will say, oh yeah, quick question, yes or no on this thing. Boom. What would have been a 5 or 10 minute conversation now becomes a 5-second conversation. Or they'll say, no, I was just calling you to check in, we'll talk another time. Or they'll say, you know what, this is actually something I can handle on my own. Don't worry about it. Or I'll send you an email after I figure it out. And when you're running a business at the level at which I know many of you want to run a business, it's these little moments in time where you get back 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, an hour, half an hour on traffic. People wonder how like Elon Musk can run 7 different businesses and he's sending rocket ships to the moon and he has the most successful car company in the history of the world. And now he's drilling tunnels under LA and Vegas. He's got the same number of hours in the day that you and I do. But I guarantee you, people like him are absolute ninjas at interrupting interruptions, right? They only focus on the thing that they say they're going to focus on, and then they execute. So you've got to get really good at having this conversation. And then last but not least, put it on your calendar, right? Put it on your calendar. People make fun of me all the time because my calendar looks like a color coordinated Tetris thing. But I'm going to share my calendar actually real quick. Can I share my screen here? I think I can. So this is my calendar. Doesn't really matter. We can talk about this some other day. This is probably a whole nother lesson. But at the end of the day, like I put stuff in my calendar that's really important, like my friends and my family. Like, hey, Wednesday night, Corrine and Scott, my wife, we're going to have some alone marriage time. We're going to watch the Ozarks. We're going to cook together. Tomorrow, I'm doing pool time with my kids. And when people see my calendar for the first time, a lot of times they snicker and they're like, oh, you must not really care about your family if you have to put them in your calendar or you have to calendar time with your family. No. I care about them so much that I calendar that time into my life. Because if you're being honest right now, the things that fall by the wayside first when we get really busy or we're a little bit stressed or things are hectic, the first thing that falls off is usually our health. We don't make time for the gym. We don't make time for ourselves, mental, physical health. Next thing that falls off is quality time with family. Oh, I'm so busy. I'll see the kids this weekend. I'll talk to my wife tomorrow. They'll understand. And then the third thing that falls off, maybe it's even sooner than this, is the lead generation. So if you're not booking that lead generation hour in your calendar so other people can't book time on your calendar, so like, hey, this is what I do from 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11:30, whatever, put it on the calendar. So those are my tips as we start this journey to stick to lead generation. Love you all. Again, please, if you're watching this in the Facebook group, add other people to the Facebook group that needs to hear this kind of stuff. If you're watching this live on Zoom, thank you so much. Share the registration link with other people. If you're watching this on YouTube, I don't really know what to do. You're supposed to subscribe and click a little bing and watch the video and leave a comment. I appreciate you. But if you're watching this content and it's good, can you just do me a favor and interact somehow? It makes me know that this kind of altruistic journey I am on is worth it and people are getting something out of it. And go to Facebook, go to the Generate community, invite other people to it. All right. Love you guys lots.